let us consider one more parameter of the antenna, that is effective length. Effective length of the antenna is the actual length of the antenna which is responsible for either radiation of a signal or reception of a signals. The effective length of an antenna is the length of the antenna which is responsible for either radiation of the signals or reception of the signals. Now, so this effective length is represented by LE or HE. So, depending upon whether the antenna is a vertical antenna or the horizontal antenna, that is, we are calling it as effective length or the effective height. And it depends upon the type of the current distribution. How the current is distributed in the antenna, the LE or HE, that is effective length or the effective height, will change. Now, let us see the first case, uniform current. That is, in the antenna, if the current is uniformly distributed, then, so this is your antenna, so this is the actual length of the antenna and this is the effective length of the antenna. And here, so the average current flowing through this particular antenna is I average. And for this uniform current distribution, LE equal to L, that is effective length is equal to the actual length or the physical length of the antenna. Now consider the second case. Here the current distribution is not uniform. In this particular case, for a current distribution as shown, I average equal to I0 divided by 2. So that means here, so the average current flowing through an antenna is equal to I0 divided by 2. Then the magnetic field for a current element is H phi equal to I0 into L divided by 2R into lambda. So call it as equation number 1. For any distributed current, H phi is equal to I average into L divided by 2R into lambda. So call it as equation number 2. Now substitute, so the values of I average in equation number 2. Here you have I average is equal to I0 divided by 2. This value you substitute in these particular equations. So then H phi is equal to I0 divided by 2R lambda into L by 2. Call it as equation number 3. Now from equation number 2 and from the equation number 3, so the effective length of antenna is half of the actual length of the antenna. So here, so in the bracket what you are getting it as, here is L by 2. And here also you are getting L by 2. So then we can say that effective length or the effective height. For horizontal antenna, we are taking it as effective length, and for the vertical antenna, we are taking the effective height. Effective length or the effective height, so the value is equal to L by 2. That is half of the actual length of the antenna. Let us consider the third case, sinusoidal current. In the sinusoidal current distribution, I average equal to 2 by pi integration from 0 to pi by 2 I0 sin theta into d theta. And if you integrate this particular equation, we will get the value as 2I0 divided by pi. Substitute in equation number 2, H phi is equal to 2I0 divided by pi into L divided by 2R into lambda. So, this we can write it as I0 divided by 2R into lambda into 2L divided by pi. Now, from equation 1 and equation number 4, we can write it as effective length or effective height is equal to 2L divided by pi. So, that is, so this is what the term is there. So, this is going to give you the effective length or the effective height. Now, considering a particular case, if L equal to 0.1 lambda, then the current is almost tapers linearly from the center fed point to 0 at the end in a triangular distribution as shown in the figure. We are feeding the signal at this particular point. If the length of the antenna is 0.1 lambda, so then the current distribution will tapers linearly in a triangular fashion, and here, so the current is going to be 0. Then the average current is half of the maximum current. That is, whatever the average current is flowing through this particular antenna is half of the maximum current. That is, I average is equal to 0.5. Then the effective length or the effective height is equal to 0.5 L or 0.5 H. Now consider fridge transmission formula or a radio communication link. So what this particular fridge transmission formula is indicating or saying that the capacity of a particular antenna to give a power at a certain distance for a given input power. The fridge transmission formula is indicating or specifying the capacity of an antenna for a given input power, how much amount of the power, so this antenna will give at a distance r from the antenna. So for this particular purpose, consider these particular figures. Here you have an isotropic antenna, that is an ideal antenna. To this antenna we are giving an input power Wt, and so this isotropic antenna radiates, and so this radiated power or this radiation is having a power density, so that is Pe. Now, so this radiation will be received by this particular receiving antenna, which is having a directivity Dr and the maximum effective aperture AM/ER. Dr is the directivity of the receiving antenna, AM/ER is the maximum effective aperture of the receiving antenna. Now, again consider an isotropic antenna used as a transmitting antenna. This is an isotropic antenna. We are using it as a transmitting antenna with a total input power, or radiated power as Wt. Now, consider a receiving antenna of aperture AEMR and a directivity Dr mounted at a distance r oriented to receive the power. So that is, we have one receiving antenna which is having a maximum effective aperture of AEMR and directivity to Dr, and this is oriented to receive. So what is the power is radiated by this isotropic antenna, which is having the power of Wt or the power density of Pe. Now, if P0 is the power density, then the received power is, okay, then Wr dash is equal to P0 into AEMR, that is P0 into maximum effective aperture of this receiving antenna. Now, instead of using this particular isotropic antenna, we will use one practical antenna. Okay, now consider here when an isotropic antenna is replaced by other antenna, that is, so this isotropic antenna is replaced by another antenna having an aperture AEMT and a directivity dt and the power is Wr. And now, so this antenna once again radiates the power and this antenna once again receives the power. Now we have to calculate how much amount of the power is transmitted by this antenna and how much of the power is received by this particular antenna. Then the received power is P into AEMT, where P is the power density of the signals and AEMT is the maximum effective aperture. Next, the directivity of transmitting antenna is dt is equal to P divided by P0, or you can write it as P equal to dt into P0. So, let us call it as equation number 2, where so whatever P0 is there, P0 can be calculated from the equation Wt divided by 4 pi r square. So, call it as equation number 3. Now, substitute equation 2 and 3 in equation number 1. When you substitute equation 2 and 3 in equation number 1, then Wr equal to dt into Wt divided by 4 pi r square into AEMR, and this equation we can write it as Wr divided by Wt equal to dt into AEMR divided by 4 pi r square. You call it as equation number 4. Now, using the relation between D and AEM of the previous class, we can write it as directivity of the transmitting antenna is equal to 4 pi AEMT divided by lambda square, and call it as equation number 5. Now, AEMR equal to lambda square, so divided by 4 pi into dr, call it as equation number 6. Substitute equation number 5 in equation number 4, then Wr divided by Wt is equal to AEMT into AEMR divided by r square into lambda square. Then from equation number 4 and from equation number 6, we can write it as Wr divided by Wt is equal to dt into dr lambda square divided by 16 pi square into r square. And so this equation is called as Friis transmission equations. And this equation is used to calculate the how much amount of the power is received by the receiver, which has been sent by the transmitting antenna. Find the directivity of the for the following intensity, directional, cosine pattern, bidirectional, sine pattern. Okay, the given problem is find the directivity of the antenna for the following intensity patterns. One is unidirectional cosine pattern, bidirectional cosine pattern, and bidirectional sine patterns. Now let us consider the first case. Now, let us consider the first case, unidirectional cosine pattern. So, the unidirectional cosine pattern is shown in this particular figure because so whatever the radiation pattern of an antenna is there, it is in only one directions. So, therefore, it is called as a unidirectional. For unidirectional cosine pattern, u is equal to um cos theta. Then the total power radiated is W is equal to a double integration u into d omega. Now, in this case, what you have to do is whatever this u is there, u is equal to cos theta, substitute in this. U is equal to cos theta, and the limits of the integration is 0 to 2 pi and 0 to pi by 2. Then d omega value is equal to cos theta sin theta d theta into d phi. Now, is a constant term, take it outside, and integration from 0 to 2 pi into d phi, and integration from 0 to pi by 2 cos theta sin theta into d theta. As you know, antenna radiates both in the phi direction and in the theta direction, that is both horizontally and vertically. So, therefore, we are supposed to consider theta and the phi. So, therefore, integrating from 0 to 2 pi in the phi direction and integrating from 0 to pi by 2 in the theta directions. So, you can integrate these particular equations, and if you integrate this equation, we will get the value as remains as it is. From this integration, I am going to get the values as 2 pi into 1 by 2, and these two will get cancelled. We will get left with pi into call it as equation number 1. If U0 is the intensity of the isotropic antenna, then the total power radiated is W is equal to 4 pi into U0, will call it as equation number 2. Now, compare this equation with respect to this equation, that is compare equation number 1 and 2. So, then you can write it as pi equal to 4 pi u0. So, from this equation you can write directivity equal to divided by u0. So, this is equal to 4. Now, consider the second case, bidirectional cosine pattern. So, the bidirectional cosine pattern is shown in this figure because the antenna is radiating in two directions. So, this is one direction, this is another direction. So, therefore, it is called as a bidirectional. Once again here, u is equal to cos theta. Therefore, the radiated power is W is equal to a double integration from u into d omega, u equal to cos theta into d omega. And you know that d omega is equal to cos theta sin theta into d theta. If you substitute in this equation, then into 0 to 2 pi into d phi, then 0 to pi cos theta sin theta and d theta. Now, if you integrate this particular equation, then it becomes into 2 pi into 2, because here to integrate these particular equations, little bit slight modification has been done to the limits of this integration. Then 2 into 0 to pi by 2 cos theta sin theta into d theta. Now, so the value of this term is going to be 1 by 2. That is why this limit has been changed in this particular case is that we know the values of the term cos theta sin theta into d theta, integration from 0 to pi by 2 is 1 by 2. In order to do the little bit adjustment to this, so the limit of this integration has been changed here, and then we substitute the values, then into 2.22 into 1 by 2, this 2 and 2 will go, so then you 2 pi into then equating it to 4 pi u naught. 4 pi u naught is the power radiated by the isotropic antenna. So then d is equal to divided by u0, so this value is equal to 2. Now, consider the third case, that is bidirectional sign pattern. So, the sign pattern has been shown in this. It is bidirectional because we are having radiation in this direction and the radiation in this directions. Now, once again u is equal to sin theta because we are considering the sign pattern. If it is a cos pattern, then it becomes u is equal to cos theta. Now, the radiated power W is equal to 0 to 2 pi and 0 to pi sin theta d theta into d phi, because so this term is nothing but your d omega. So therefore, is a constant term, take it outside, 0 to 2 pi into d phi, and then 0 to pi sin theta into sin theta is sin square theta into d theta. Now 0 to 2 pi d phi. Now from the trigonometry, sin square theta is equal to 1 minus cos 2 theta divided by 2 into d theta. This is equal to into 2 pi. So that is integration from 0 to 2 pi d phi. So the value is equal to 2 pi, and 0 to pi 1 minus cos 2 theta divided by 2 into d theta. Now, so this is the term as you are having it here. So from this one you are getting the value as pi by 2. Then the 2 and 2 will get cancelled. We are left with pi square into equating it to 4 pi u0. Then pi square equal to 4 pi into u0. Therefore, d equal to, that is directivity equal to divided by u0. So this is equal to 4 divided by pi. This is equal to 1.27. If you closely observe all these three cases, now so depending upon whether that antenna pattern is unidirectional, bidirectional, sign pattern or the cosine pattern, the directivity goes on changes. Because for the unidirectional cosine pattern, you got the directivity as 4. For bidirectional cosine pattern, you got the directivity as 2. And for bidirectional sign pattern, you got the directivity as 1.27. It means to say that, so what type of pattern you are having from the antenna, accordingly the directivity will get changed.